Hello everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel, The Learning Hub. Now we are going to discuss about a few examples of transition diagram and we will check the acceptability of a string for given program. So here we can see that the transition diagram is given for the Turing machine. In this case, all the states are represented by the vertices and we have a few directed edges and like this and this. So these directed edges represents the transition of the states. The labels are triples in this case. Instead of writing two values, it is triple, which consists of three attributes. So which means nothing else. They are something like this, which represents like we have alpha, comma, beta, comma, gamma. So like we have VBR, X1R and so on. So what does this mean? So they are nothing else. They are just representing that this is certain input symbol which is given on a state, and this will be the replacement symbol with which the value will be replaced, and gamma is nothing else. It will give us the direction. Like if I have a look at this, which is saying 0xr. So what does it mean? It means when 0 is given as input on Q1, then this 0 will be replaced with x and the head will move towards right. As we can see over here, we have an example string B0011B. So the string is basically 0011, but on tape we know we add the blank states on both sides. So here we get 0011. So initial state is Q1. So it will start from Q1 and it will point toward the symbol 0. So the current symbol under processing is 0. Now when this string is passed, when we see on Q1 0 is given, so we can have a look at the transition diagram which says when Q1 is given input 0, this 0 will be replaced with x and the head will move towards right. So what is happening over here on this string, when this will be replaced with x and then the head over here will start pointing towards the next, that is on the right hand side, and the state changes to Q2, so it will become Q2 in this case. Fine. So next is, it means now Q2 is pointing to this 0. So when Q2 is given input 0, so what is happening in this case, we can see from here, when Q2 is given 0, this 0 is replaced with 0 only. So no change, no overwriting of the value, and the head will move towards right. So what will happen in this case? So 0 will remain 0, no overwriting is needed to be done. And what happens in the next case, the head will start pointing towards the right direction, that is over here. And is there any state change? No. With 0 it is remaining at Q2 only, so Q2 state will be Q2. Now what happens in the next case, it means when Q2 is given value input 1. So on Q2, when 1 is given, the state changes to Q3. So this state will become Q3. Fine. And this 1 will be replaced with Y. So let us replace this 1 with Y. And what is next to be done? The head will point towards left. So now the head will again start pointing towards left. The next symbol, left symbol, is 0 in this case. And the next state in this case is Q3. We have already changed. So now it means Q3 is pointing to what? Q2 is pointing to this 0. So it means Q3 is given 0. It will go to Q4. So the state changes to Q4 and this 0 is remaining 0 only, and the head will start pointing towards left. So now where the Q3 will point out towards, it will point to this value which is already been replaced as x. So this is how it will keep proceeding in the case. Now let's solve this example completely. So firstly we consider the initial stage, that is Q1. So it says if we are having the string B0011B. So the first step is Q1 is pointing to this 0. It means B1, we can write it like B1 0 0 1 1 B, which is the state. So here what can we see? We need not to write it like this. We will simply write 0 0 1 1. Let's put B on both sides. And this is simple string. Initial state is q1. So q1 is pointing to 0, because as an initial state it will point over here. So it means q1 is pointing to 0. What does it mean? It means q1 is given input 0. So if we look at this diagram, when q1 is given input 0, the transition in this case is 0xr. So what will happen? It will happen 0x comma r function. So what does it mean? It means this 0 will be replaced with x. So what will we do? We will replace this 0 with x. Fine. So next is, what is the next state in the case? The next state in the case is q2. Fine. Because the state changes with input 0. And what happens in the next case? When this is given q2, it is replaced with 0 and the head moves towards right. So moving towards right means, as we have seen, this is replaced with x and now the head will point to here. So it means it will be 0. To point this, what we have to write? We have to write it 0 1 1 b. Fine. So 0x b x 0 1 1 b. So now q2 is pointing where? Q2 is pointing to this symbol which is on the rightmost side. It means now q2 is given input 0. So have a look at the diagram. When q2 is given input 0, the function is 0 0 r. So what will happen in this case? It says 0 0 r. Now it means the current symbol was 0, which will remain 0. So no replacement. We will write the string as it is, x and 0. Now where the head will move, we will write the complete string as 0x0011 and put the blank symbols. Now the head was currently initially pointing towards this 0. Now head has moved towards right. So head will point to this location. And in this case, is there any state change? We have a look. We know that with input 0 on q2 there is no state change. So it will remain q2. Fine. So now q2 is pointing to this 1. Now it means q2 is given input 1. Now when q2 is given input 1, the function says it will go to q3. State will change to q3 with the value 1y l. So what is there? That is 1 comma y comma l, which means this 1 will be changed with second symbol, replacement symbol, that is y. So the string will become x0 y. This y 1 will be replaced with y 1, and let us put the blank symbol. So it will become x0 y 1. Now state changes to q2 and it will move towards left. So initially this one which was replaced with this, it will move towards left, head will move towards left, and the state in this case will become q3. It means q3 is given input 0. So when q3 is given input 0, the next state is changes to q4, and in this case the values that are being used is 0 comma, the transition function is being used 0 0 l, which means head will move towards left. Which head? State, read write head with state q4. So 0 will remain 0 itself, so no need to change any string. X0, there is one x, there is b, bx0 y1 b, and head is moving towards left. So what is the next to left to 0 is p, this x. So state is, we have seen q4, so we will put q4 over here. Fine. So here we know q4 is pointing to x. Now when q4 is given input x, we can see what will we get? We will get function xxr. So the next function is x comma r, the transition function when x4 is given input x. So it means x will be replaced with x itself. So no change. So we will write the function as b x0 y1 b, and head is moving towards right. Is there any state change? Yes, the state changes to q1. So where we have to write this q1, we have to write this q1 which is moving towards right. So from x it will shift to here, this 0, that is towards right. So it will point to 0, and which is the state, current state, it is q1. Now it means q1 is pointing towards 0. So when q1 is given input 0, what we get? We get 0 xr. So the transition function for this case is 0 comma x comma r. It means the 0 which is being pointed by the current state q1 is to be replaced with x. So my string will become b xx y1 b. And what is the state when q1 is given 0? So we say when q1 is given 0, the state changes to q2. And this q2 will point towards where? It will shift towards right, that is from 0 to y. So now the q2 will point to which was initially pointing to 0, so it will point to this y. Fine. So q2 is pointing to y, which means q2 is given input y. So when q2 is given input y, the function in that case is y comma r. So when this input is given, it means this y is to be replaced with y only. So no change in the string happens. So we will write the string as it is, b y1 b. Fine. And is there any state change for q2 to y? We can see when q2 is given input y, the state remains q2 itself. So no need to change the state, but shift the head will shift towards right. So initially the head was pointing to y. Now the head will point to from this to this, that is head will point to 1, and there is no state change. We will write the state q2 itself, which means q2 is pointing to 1. So now when q2 will point to this value 1, that is q2 is given the input 1. So what will we get? We say q2 will move towards q3, that is state changes to q3 with which function? The function is 1y l. So the input function is 1 comma y comma l in this case. And it mean, what does it mean? It means from this it will move towards y, and this one is replaced with y. So my string will become b xx, 1 is replaced with y p. And my q2 state will become, in this case, when q2 is given 1, state changes to q3, and where should it point? It should move towards left, as we can see. It was pointing to 1, which was replaced with y. So now the q3 will point to this y. What does it mean? It means q3 is given input y. So when q3 is given input y, so let's have a look. q3 is given input y, there is no state change, state will remain q3 itself, and the transition function is yy l. So we will write the transition function over here, which is yy l. So we are already having y, so we will not make any change in the string. We will write the complete string as it is. Fine. But we have to change the state. q3 with y is remaining y itself, so q3 will remain y, but it will but the head will move towards left. So initially it was pointing over here. Now q3 will start pointing to this x. What does it mean? It means q3 is given input x. So when q3 is given input x, the transition function for that case, that is q3 is given input x, the transition function in that case is x comma r. So there is no change in the string. We will write the string as it is, and but there is a change in the state changes to q5. So my state will become q5, and it will move towards right because it is given right. So it was pointing to x, towards right, it will start pointing to this y, but it means q5 is given input y. So when this q5 is given input y, the function in that case is b comma b comma r. Transition function for q5 with y is q5 with y, q5 with y is y. So here is we have y comma r. So there is no replacement of this string, it will remain it is, but we will shift the head towards right, and the state changes to q5 because q5 is with y is pointing towards q5 only, so the state will remain q5, but it will shift the head to this y. So this is my current symbol now. And now q5 when given y, it will remain what? It will remain yr, same function, that is yr. So no change in the string, we will write the string as it is. What is to be done in this case? The state is q5, but the head will move to right, that is q5 will point to b now, because earlier it was pointing to this b, so the head shifted to this b rightwards. Now when q5 is given input b, so when q5 is given inputs b, we can see q5 with b is the transition function is saying b comma b comma r. Now we can see this b will remain b itself, so here shortage of space, so we will write over here. So the string will be b x x y y b, because b is to be replaced with b itself, and the head will move towards right, and the state changes to q6. So we will say q6 is pointing towards blank space. Now we know that q6 is the final state. So we started with the initial state and we have reached the final state q6. Also we can say the complete string has been processed. It means starting with the initial state, we have reached the final state with this string. It means this string is accepted by this Turing machine. As we have already discussed, that the acceptability of a string is decided by the reachability from the initial state to some final state. Now suppose we have followed all the functions, but the machine halts in between, like over here, but we have not reached the final state, then we will declare that the string is not accepted. But in this case, in this example, that we have starting from the initial state, we have reached the final state, the string has been completely traversed it, which from here we can say this string is accepted by this given Turing machines. So I hope the example is clear. If you have any doubt in the question in anything, then you can refer to me. This example has also been given in the book in the book KLP Mishra, Theory of Computer Science, which is we know one of the best book for studying talk, and this example is given in that book also. It has been referred from there. So for any query or any doubt, just write in the comment box. Thanks for watching the video. In the next video we will check the acceptability of the string for a given transition table, which means Turing machine is given in the form of a transition table. In this case, the Turing machine was given in transition diagram, and we check the acceptability of the string. In the next example, the Turing machine will be given in the form of a table, and we will check the acceptability of the string with that. So thanks for watching the video.